In this video, we will explain absolutely everything you need to know to travel to Canada. This is the definitive guide and the most complete video you will watch today about this destination, covering the complex logistics of one of the largest countries in the world, the differences between the East and West Coasts, the secrets of the Rocky Mountains visa rules, and the best tips to save money. So let's get started. Canada is a powerhouse in North America and a country of unique and fascinating contrasts. It is a place where the French-European heritage of Quebec and Montreal blends harmoniously with the British and cosmopolitan modernity of Toronto and Vancouver. It is a country of extreme politeness, where safety is absolute, cities are impeccably clean, and nature is considered one of the greatest treasures on the planet, with turquoise lakes, glaciers, and infinite forests. But before diving into the destinations, let us get to logistics, which is the most important and complex part of planning your trip. What is the best time to visit Canada? The country has 4 very well-defined and extreme seasons. The best time by far for general tourism is summer from June to September. The days are long with sun until 9 at night. Temperatures are pleasant and all national parks and attractions are open. Autumn from September to October is world famous for the colors of the leaves, especially in the Quebec and Ontario region, creating spectacular scenery. Winter from December to March must be faced with preparation, as it is brutally cold, with temperatures of 4 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit or lower. But it is the perfect time to ski in Whistler or Banff and see the northern lights in the north. Spring from April to May is the thaw season and can be rainy and muddy. And how many days to stay in Canada? Canada is gigantic, the second largest country in the world. The #1 mistake is trying to see everything in a week. To do the classic East itinerary covering Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and Quebec, the bare minimum we recommend is 10 to 12 full days. But the ideal to take it easy and include Niagara Falls is 15 days. If you want to explore the West covering Vancouver and the Rockies, you need at least 10 days just for that region. To cross the country, set aside at least 20 to 25 days. Mandatory documentation for international tourists. To enter Canada, you need to be aware of the current rules. First, your passport must be valid for the duration of your stay. Many nationalities, including US citizens, do not need a visa for short visits. However, other nationalities may need an electronic travel authorization called ETA, which is cheap, costs $7 and comes out in minutes online, or a traditional visitor visa stamped in the passport. Always check the updated rules with the consulate before boarding, as diplomatic rules can change. And remembering travel insurance. Medical costs in Canada are among the highest in the world for tourists. The health system is public for residents, but private and extremely expensive for visitors. A simple emergency consultation or a broken arm in the snow can cost thousands of dollars. We never travel without it. And in the link in the description, there is the comparator we use, which always finds insurance for half the price, comparing the best insurers on the market. We will leave the link in the description for you to guarantee this protection. Staying in a good region will make your trip much easier and less tiring. The strategy is to choose the right base in each main city to avoid long commutes. In Toronto, the largest city, the best option is to stay in downtown near Yonge Street or the CN Tower. The advantage is easy access to the subway and all attractions on foot. The disadvantage is that it is the most expensive area. A second, more economical option is to stay near the University of Toronto or in the Annex neighborhood. In Montreal, the best region for tourists is downtown or Old Montreal. The advantage of Old Montreal is the historic European charm. The advantage of downtown is access to the underground city and the metro. In Vancouver on the West Coast, the best region by far is downtown or the West End neighborhood near Stanley Park. Staying here allows you to go to beaches and mountains easily. In Banff, in the Rockies, staying in the village of Banff itself is ideal for access to restaurants and shops, but it is expensive. Canmore is a cheaper alternative 20 minutes away. We created this personalized map that explains exactly which is the best region in each of these main cities. Staying in this marked area, you cannot go wrong. We will leave here on the screen QR code and in the video description the link to this exclusive map. We created them on the hotel site we always use, as it always has the best prices and reliable options. Over there, you can already put your travel date and see all hotel options within this strategic location for the lowest prices. We will also leave links to the hotels we have already stayed at and approved. In all destinations, we always recommend one that is very cheap and super well located for those who want to save money, and another that is a little better in the same location but a little more expensive with more comfort. These are great options tested by us. An important tip to save on accommodation is the advanced strategy. Good hotels in Canada, especially in Banff and Quebec in the summer, sell out 6 months in advance. That is why we really like using this site we indicated. In addition to having the lowest prices, it has free cancellation with almost all hotels. You can book as soon as possible to guarantee a much lower price. And if you need to cancel later due to any change of plans, it is super easy and at no cost. And remembering that in this link below, We always organize everything you need to set up your entire trip for the lowest price on a single page. The sites we use to build our trips, and that have everything much cheaper, such as the international eSIM cell phone chip to have unlimited internet, which is essential in Canada to use maps and translators. The discounted travel insurance tickets for all the popular attractions like the CN Tower and ski gondolas, the good and cheap hotels. We have already stayed at the car rental comparator, which is essential for the Rockies and the global account to carry Canadian dollars paying much lower exchange rates. And the links already contain automatic discounts because we are always updating them. So save this page in your favorites and use it when planning, as it will facilitate your trip a lot and make you save a lot of money. Now let us talk about transportation. How to get around Canada. To arrive, the main international airports are Toronto YYZ, Montreal YUL, and Vancouver YVR. To move between the large cities of the East Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec, the best way is the VIA rail train. It is comfortable, has Wi-Fi, and leaves from city centers. Buy in advance to pay less. To cross the country from east to west, the only viable option is by plane. As the distance is huge, it is a 5-hour flight. To get around within cities, public transport is perfect in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. Subways and buses cover everything. The golden tip is to buy daily or weekly passes. And the car. Renting a car is essential if you are visiting the Rocky Mountains, Banff, and Jasper, or doing road trips through the province of Quebec and Nova Scotia. The roads are wide, safe, and beautiful. In big cities like Toronto and Montreal, avoid the car as traffic is bad and parking is extremely expensive. For those renting a car in these specific regions, the most important tip is to book in advance online using a price comparator. We will leave the link to the comparator we use in the description. Now let us get to the main regions and detailed attractions. The first region is Ontario, where Toronto and the Falls are located. Attraction number 1 is the CN Tower in Toronto. It is one of the tallest towers in the world. Go up to the observation deck to see the city and Lake Ontario. The ticket costs about $30. Attraction number 2 is Niagara Falls. They are an hour and a half from Toronto. Take the Hornblower boat tour that gets right up close to the waterfall and soaks everything. It is a visceral experience. The second region is Quebec, the French part. Attraction number 3 is Old Montreal, Vieux Montreal. Visit the Notre Dame Basilica, which has an incredible nightlight show called Aura. Attraction number 4 is Quebec City. It is the only walled city north of Mexico. Walk along Dufferin Terrace in front of the Chateau Frontenac Hotel and go down to the Petit Champlain district, which looks like a fairy tale village. The third region is the West Coast and the Rockies. Attraction number 5 is Banff National Park in Alberta. It is the most beautiful place in Canada. Visit Lake Louise and Moraine Lake, famous for the surreal turquoise color of the water from glaciers. Logistics require arriving very early before 6 in the morning, or booking official buses as parking lots fill up. Attraction number 6 is the Icefields Parkway, the most scenic road in the world, connecting Banff to Jasper, full of glaciers and bears on the roadside. Attraction number 7 is Vancouver and the Capilano Suspension Bridge. It is a giant suspension bridge in the middle of a temperate rainforest. The ticket costs about $55. If you want a free option, go to Lynn Canyon Park. In Vancouver, do not miss cycling through Stanley Park. An important tip that will save you time and money is to buy tickets for attractions and tours in advance. On the spot, it is always more expensive, and the most famous sites like the CN Tower and the boat in Niagara Falls have huge lines. We will leave in the QR code on the screen and in the description the link to the site where we always buy tickets and tours for the lowest price. It is the largest tour site in the world and has practically everything there. Tickets for the Toronto Tower whale watching tours in Vancouver, and tickets for national parks. Everything for the lowest price, and you can buy in dollars, saving on international fees. Let us go shopping. Canada is great for shopping with better prices than in many countries and brands you might not find everywhere. The most famous store is Dollarama, where you find everything for very low prices. For winter clothes, the Canadian brand Roots is a classic, as is Canada Goose for extreme coats but expensive. In Toronto, the Eaton Centre Mall is a mandatory stop. And the tax-free Tip Canada does not have a federal tax refund system for tourists on general purchases, so the tag price will always have tax added at the checkout, which varies from 5 to 15% depending on the province. Speaking of gastronomy, Canadian food is a mix of influences. You need to try poutine, the national dish made of French fries, cheese curds, and hot gravy. The best place to eat is at La Banquise in Montreal. Also try the beaver tail, a fried dough pastry with cinnamon and sugar. In Vancouver, try Pacific salmon and Japadogs, Japanese hot dogs. And of course, maple syrup on everything. For real restaurant suggestions, to save money, go to Tim Hortons. It is the most loved coffee chain in Canada. Coffee and donuts Timbits are super cheap. A breakfast combo costs about $5. For mid-price, go to The Keg, an excellent steakhouse chain present throughout the country. A full dinner costs about $40 per person. For a luxury experience, book a dinner at the CN Tower at the 360 restaurant, which revolves and offers an incredible view. The menu costs about $80. Remember that a 15 to 20% tip is mandatory in Canada. And what to do at night. Nightlife is lively in big cities. In Toronto, the Entertainment District and King Street West are full of bars and clubs. In Montreal, Crescent Street and Boulevard St. Laurent boil until late. In Vancouver, Granville Street is the meeting point. And with kids, Canada is super family-friendly. In Toronto, take them to Ripley's Aquarium next to the tower. In Niagara, Clifton Hill is a street full of wax museums and amusement park-style attractions. In Vancouver, Science World is an incredible science museum. And to combine your trip, Canada borders the United States. From Toronto, you can take a bus or car and in 2 hours be in Buffalo or shop at American outlets. From Vancouver, you are 3 hours from Seattle. It is very common to combine both countries in the same trip, but remember to have a US visa. If you liked this complete and deep guide, like the video, and subscribe to our channel to travel more and better around the world. Thank you very much and have a safe trip.